The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone. Wish you all a happy morning. Hope you're all doing fine. So first of all, many thanks for joining us on our workshop. Thank you so much for spending your time in registering during your busy schedule because your participation means a lot to us here at Manage Engine. So we, the AD Solutions team, hope to make sure that this session is going to be valuable and you will gain something out of it. I welcome you all for today's session on AD Manager Plus. I hope that my voice is audible and the screen is well and clear. If not, please kindly let us know through the chat. So let me introduce myself. My name is Anu and I am your presenter for the day. So I'm pretty sure that you all know about this series of AD Manager Plus workshop. This is workshop number 2. So this is the second of 5 workshops that we are conducting this month. One workshop every week Tuesday at the same time. So last week on workshop number 1, we were discussing about user provisioning. So where we were looking into how we can create users and how we can provision their AD or Office 365 related attributes from a single console, and also we were looking on how to create users in bulk without using any native tools, say any PowerShell or VB scripts. So this week on workshop number 2, we will be focusing on user account modification. And the topic for today is streamline management of Active Directory users, Office 365 licenses, and Exchange mailboxes. So, for example, consider a situation you hired an employee on a contract basis. Suppose that if his contract is expired, you may have to change his group membership, or you may have to disable his account, or you may have to delete his user account. So you as an administrator may have to modify the user accounts often. So I am going to explain on how you can do all that in an easy way. So having said that, let me quickly share with you the agenda for the day. So by end of this session, you will get to know on how you can enforce uniform naming formats for users across your organization, and hence you can ensure uniformity in your organization. So you will also know how you can update users' primary and secondary SMTP addresses. Say for example, you have Exchange server in your domain and you may have to change the SMTP address for your user. So I will be telling you how you can do it very easily using AD Manager Plus. And also you will be knowing on how to automatically update users group membership whenever their departments are changed. Say for example, your user has been recently promoted to another department or has got transferred to another location. So whenever you change those attributes, say you change department attribute or a container attribute, you have to automatically trigger manipulating the membership attribute, say member of attribute. So you will be seeing how you can do it very easily. So say for example, you may have to decommission your file servers. So when you do that, you may have to move the home folders of your user accounts from one file server to another file server. So for example, if you have 100 user account in your domain, so you have to go and edit each and every account and it may look tiresome and time consuming. So I will be telling you how you can do it very easily using AD Manager Plus. And also you can identify the inactive Office 365 users in your domain and you can free up the licenses and hence you can ensure efficient license management. And also we'll be looking into how you can migrate your mailboxes. Say for example, you have recently upgraded to your Exchange server to the latest version. So you may have to migrate your Exchange mailbox. So I will be telling you all that today. So without any further delay, let me take you to the application. But before that, let me share with you the test lab that we have configured and hosted online. So if you have AD Manager Plus you have already configured the setup for AD Manager Plus, you can very well make use of it, or I'll share with you the URL for the test lab. And the URL for the test lab is admp.cloudapp.net. Kindly look at the chat window for the URL. I will also be sharing the credential for logging into the application. The username is admin and the password is workshop with W capitalized. So kindly make sure that you log on to AD Manager plus authentication and not the workshop domain. So I hope that you all have logged into the application. Let me log in as well. And now I'm logging into the application. So I'm logging into the application with my technician. So as you all know that you will be welcomed with the product dashboard. So you can see you have a lot more options that you can do, that you can use to make your task related to Active Directory administration very easily. So now we will be focusing on user account modification. So it will be coming under AD Management tab. In AD Management tab, you can find all the options that you can use for managing your user accounts, your computer or group or contact, everything in your Active Directory. So as the name suggests, management is for creation or modification or deletion of your user account. So as a first step, let me create a test user account. So for those who have attended the previous session, you know on how to create a user using AD Manager Plus. So for those who are new to the session, so I will be telling you on how to create a sample user account. So you can see create single user link in under AD Management tab. In user management category, you can find create single user. So please click on that. You will be taken to a console where you need to just fill in the mandatory attributes or the basic details of this user account. So you can choose the domain, and now I'm going to name this user account. I'm going to give the first name as John and the last name as Williams. So as you all know that this logon name and full name will be auto-populated based on the naming format you configured in your domain. So you can also choose the container in which this user account is going to reside. And as a next step, I am going to enter the password for this user account. So please make sure that this password meets the password complexity of the domain, and please make sure they both are same. So I'm going to put this user account in a department, say education and training, and I'm going to set exchange attributes for this user account. So just go to the exchange tab. You can see mailbox enabled user option. So there you just have to fill in the mail server and the mailbox store. So as you all know, a mail alias and simple display name will be auto-populated. So I'm just going to create this user account by hitting create button. So now this user account is being created in my Active Directory. So to verify whether this account has been created or not, so as soon as this user account is created, you can see the message successfully created the user. So now I have completed the process of creating a user account. As a first step, I will be modifying the SMTP address for this user account. But before that, let me check what is the current SMTP address for this user account. So in order to check that, you can see modify single user link under user management in AD Management tab. So click modify single user. So this will list you all the users present in your domain. So you can see that all the users are listed here. So you can search for your user. So my test user account is John Williams. Click on that user. You can see all the properties of this user account in this window. You can see that his logon name is John Williams. So this is the SAM account name for this user account, with which you can uniquely identify every user account in your domain. So you just have to note this username because this will be helpful when you modify this user account any number of times later on. So the full name for this user account is John Williams and the display name is John Williams as well. So I have to verify the SMTP address for this user account. Just go to Exchange tab. So in Exchange tab, you can see the SMTP address for this user account, and that is johnwilliams@workshop.admanagerplus.com. So what are we waiting for? Let's go and modify the SMTP address. So you have two options to modify users in bulk using AD Manager Plus. One, you can use a CSV file, like you can make use of a CSV file where you will fill in all attributes, like you can mention the location, I mean the container where this user account will reside, or you can mention the description or whatever you want. You can just fill all the attributes in a CSV file and you can make use of it. Or you have another option, say bulk user modification. Here you have option, you can reset your password or you can unlock your users. Say for example, you have shift employees in your organization and you may have to change their timings, like you do not want them to log into your workstations after shift hours, then you have an option to change log on hours too. So now let me create a sample CSV file. So just open up your notepad and create a file with the extension .csv file. So to make this session more interesting, I would recommend you to do all these tasks that I'm doing now so that you can have a hands-on experience with AD Manager Plus. So now in this file, I have just entered the SAM account name and proxy addresses. For those who have attended the previous session, you would know what the SAM account name and proxy addresses are. For those who are new to the session, I'll explain you what these are. So these are nothing but the LDAP names with which you can communicate with your domain controller. Say for example, when you enter the name as a logon name and SMTP address, domain controller would not be able to understand them. So you need to communicate with your domain controller in a way that it can understand. So where do I find LDAP name for these attributes? You don't have to worry about it. AD Manager Plus has all in it. So you can see the help link on the top right of the screen. Please click that help link. You will be taken to the help document of AD Manager Plus. So here you have all the references that you want to know about AD Manager Plus. So in that, click on CSV import, click create users using CSV. So there you can see list of LDAP attributes supported. So click on that link. So this will give you all the LDAP headers that you need to know for the name in Active Directory. So SAM account name is nothing but the logon name pre-Windows. Similarly, if you want to modify the telephone number, you just have to give telephone number. So now you can know that in my CSV file, I have given the SAM account name and proxy addresses. Since this proxy address is a multi-valued attribute, you just have to separate these values with a semicolon. So for primary SMTP address, you have to make this SMTP as capitalized. This means that this is a primary SMTP address. For secondary SMTP address, SMTP should all be in lowercase. So now I'm done with creating my CSV file. Let me go and modify the user. Please go to the application. Under AD Management tab, you have an option Modify Users under User Management category. So click Modify Users where you will have to import your CSV file. So you can choose the domain in which you're going to make these changes and import your CSV file. Click OK. So now your CSV file is being imported. So now you can choose the user that you want to change and hit update in AD. So here you have an option where you can decide what are all the attributes you are going to modify. So I'm not going to modify the SAM account name. I'm just going to modify proxy addresses. And also you can decide based on what criteria you are going to locate users in Active Directory. So I will be using SAM account name for locating the user. So I've just checked only SAM account name. You have some other options. Let's go and look into the advanced options. Say here you have an option to append these values. For example, if you select this append these values, then these proxy addresses that I have entered will be appended to the previous value. If so, I'm just going to override the previous value. So I'll just remove this checkbox, the check from this checkbox. So I'm going to click OK. Now this user account is being modified in Active Directory. So you can see the status message here. So now my user account is successfully modified. So shall we just go and verify it? Just go to AD Management tab. You can see Modify Single User. Click on that. So as I said earlier, you can see all the list of users in your domain that will be listed here. You can go and search for your user. So my user is John Williams. This will open up this window where you can find all the attributes of this user account. So go to Exchange tab, because in Exchange tab you can find the SMTP address. So in Exchange tab, you can see, you can go and look for your SMTP address. So you can see that it has been modified. The primary and secondary SMTP addresses are modified. So now I'm going to show you another way. If you feel that creating a CSV file is tiresome, then I'll show you another way where you can just fill in the values directly. So in AD Management tab under Bulk User Modification, you can find an option named Modify SMTP Address. So click Modify SMTP Address. So this will give you an option where you can choose you're going to modify a mailbox enabled users or mail enabled users. So I'm going to modify mailbox enabled users. So I've just selected that. So you can enter the proxy address that you are going to set for your user account. So click on add button. So you just have to fill in the SMTP address that you are going to provide. So say for example, I'm going to make SMTP address as john@workshoptest.com. So I can also add the secondary SMTP addresses. So click add more formats. So as you can see, SMTP is capitalized. This means that this will be the primary SMTP address for this user account. And also, if you're modifying this value, this SMTP address value, say for n number of users, say 10 or 20, you could not enter the name straight away. So you can just fill in the format in which you are going to set the user account name. Say for example, if I'm going to make it as like first name dot last name, then you can specify that too. So how will you do it? I'll show you how. So instead entering John, you can just give the format name. Like for first name, it is given name. So give it under percentage, given name, percentage. This will give you the first name of the user account. And dot, for last name, it is SN. So percentage, SN, percentage. So this means that my user account will have an email address format in first name dot last name at workshoptest.com. In a similar way, you can give the secondary address also. So say for example, first name dot, say if you wish to give it as a middle name, then you have it as initials. Say first name dot initials at workshoptest.com. So I'm done with setting the primary and secondary addresses. Click OK. So you can choose your users to be that you are going to modify in your Active Directory in two formats. First, you can modify using CSV import, and the second one, you can directly go and search for your user account. So now I am going to import my CSV file. So when you use a CSV file here, you don't have to give the proxy address value here. You just have to give the SAM account name with which you can select the users to be modified. So I'm not going to use proxy addresses here. So if you wish to use this step, I mean this process of modifying SMTP address for 10 or 20 accounts, please enter the name one after the other in the CSV file. So I'm going to modify SMTP address only for this user account. So I've just given this name. So go to your application and import the CSV file. Click go to import the CSV file. So you can see the list of users in the CSV file listed here. So if you have say 10 or 20 accounts, you can just select all them at one click using check all. So after selecting the users to be modified, just click apply. So you can see that this user account is being modified in your domain. The proxy addresses, the SMTP addresses for this user account is now successfully modified. So you want to take a look at how to check whether it is modified or not. The same way, let's go to modify single user, and this will be displaying all the users in the domain, as you know. So you can search for your user. So this will list my user. So this will open, on clicking that user account will open a window displaying all its properties, and you can just go and click Exchange tab where you can verify the SMTP address. So I have modified it. So you can see the SMTP address being modified. So in previously when I was using CSV file, it was overridden. Say for example, I just overwrite my SMTP address with the value that I've given in the CSV file. So when I use it using bulk user modification, the secondary addresses are just appended. So you can choose what you want to do. So I'm done with modifying the SMTP address. So as a next step, I will be explaining you on how you can enforce naming format across your organization. Say for example, your organization recently merged with another organization. So you need to enforce a certain naming format, a naming pattern for all the users across your organization. So how do you do it? So you can find an option called naming attributes under bulk user modification in AD management tab. So click naming attributes. So this will take you to a console where you can decide the naming format for display name, for full name, for logon name, or your logon name pre-Windows 2000. So you can either select the list of naming format that is already predefined in AD Manager Plus, or you can create your own format. So now I'm going to choose as first name plus last initial for my display name. So my display name should look like something. For my user account John Williams, it should look like John W. Let's go and check it. So now I'm not going to import my CSV file. I will be showing you how you can go and search for a user. So I have to search my user John. So enter John and click search. So this will give you the list of users with the name John. So you can see the search result is being generated now. So you can pick up the user that you want to modify from this list. So here I have my account John Williams, and you can click apply. Select your account and choose apply. Your display name will be modified. So you can see that you can verify that the display name is modified into John W. So in a similar way, you can choose any other naming format for your organization. So we have seen how we can modify SMTP address and how we can modify the naming format. Say for example, now the employee is a contract employee and his contract has expired. So how do you deprovision it? Say for example, you as a first step, you as an administrator will be removing his group membership. So you have an option called group attributes. So you can see group attributes in AD management tab under user management sub tab. under bulk user modification category, you can see group attributes. So click group attributes. Here you can modify all the group membership attributes. So if you want to remove any group, you can choose from the list of groups present in your domain, or you can just clear away all the groups of this user account. So in a similar way, you can import a new CSV file, or you can just search and select the user. So like how I was changing the naming attributes, in a similar way, you can change the group attributes for this member. And also after removing the group membership, you may have to disable this user account. So is there any option to do that? Yes, you have. So you can see enable disable users under bulk user modification. So click enable disable users. You can decide on what you're going to do. You can either disable this account or enable this account. So now I'm going to disable this account. So you can as I said earlier, you can either import the CSV file or you can just go and search for your user. So as a next step, you will be deleting this user account while doing deprovisioning. So you have an option called delete users under bulk user modification. Please click on delete users. This will take you to a console where you can choose the user to be deleted. You can either import the CSV file or you can do a regular search. Wait a minute. Suppose if I've deleted a user account by mistake, is there a way that I can recover it back? Yes, you do have it. So go to AD Management tab. There you can see an option called Restore Deleted Users. So click on Restore Deleted Users. So here you can select the user or you can use the CSV file to recover the users. For example, if you have, say, your domain functional level is 2008 R2 and above, then you can have 100% recovery of all the attributes. Or if not, then you can have the mandatory attributes restored. So now you have seen how you can make use of AD Manager Plus for deprovisioning your user account. So in a similar way, say for example, if you decommission your file server, you may have to move the home folders of the user account from one file server to another. So you can see an option called Move Home Folders under Bulk User Modification. So click Move Home Folders. So this will give you a console where you can choose how you can move your home folder. You can either move your home folder or you can move your profile path too. So select move home folder. You can choose the directory in which that home folder you are going to move, and you have to enter the network shared path of the directory in that file server. Say for example, this is a workshop domain and the share path is workshop and share. So you just have to give the network share path of that folder and you can decide whether you're going to retain the original copy or not. It's up to you. Then you can import the CSV file, or you can just go and search for the user for whom you are going to move this home folder. Say for example, if you're moving this home folder for 10 or 20 accounts, you don't have to worry about the name of the folder that you want to create in the new file server. You can give the naming format here too. Say for example, percentage username percentage. This will create a new folder in that file server and move the corresponding home folders into that location. So we have seen on how to move the home folders. And also, I'll tell you, suppose you have recently upgraded your Exchange Exchange server. So if you want to migrate your mailboxes for the user account, you have the option for migrating your mailboxes in AD Manager Plus. You can see an option called Migrate Mailbox in Exchange Task category in AD Management tab. So click Migrate Mailbox. This will give you a console where you just have to pick the target Exchange server and the target database, mailbox database. You don't have to worry about any partial scripts or any VB scripts, you just have to pick those values. Please import your CSV file, or you can use the regular way of searching the user, and you can just migrate mailbox with few moments. So migrating mailbox looks so easy, isn't it? Okay, so what are all the other options that I can do with AD Manager Plus? AD Manager Plus has a wide range of options that you can use for your Active Directory administration. So we were looking on how you can deprovision your user accounts or modify exchange related attributes and all that. So as a next step, I will be telling you how you can manage your Office 365 licenses. So you have a tab called Office 365 Management. There you have the option to assign or remove licenses. But before that, I was telling you I will be discussing about how you can manage inactive users in Office 365. If you want to look at the report of who are all the users inactive in your domain, you have AD Reports tab. Please go to AD Reports tab. So that will give you a detailed information of all Active Directory objects. So we can see a report, Office 365 reports. So there you have a report named inactive users. So you can use this inactive users report to find who are all the inactive users in your domain. So you can generate the report for last 30 days or 60 days or 90 days, or you can specify any custom period. So after you are decided with whom you are going to remove the licenses, you can go to your AD Management tab and go to Office 365 Management. So you can use this option, assign or remove licenses. So you have the option to manage your licenses in Office 365, everything in here. So you just have to choose the users and you can just make use of this Office 365. So we will be looking into deprovisioning of user accounts, how to modify the SMTP addresses and all that. I was telling you something in the very beginning that you can trigger an action of modifying certain attributes, say member of or description or manager, anything, whenever you modify a certain attribute. So how can you do that? I'll tell you how. So you can do that with the help of user modification templates. So click on user modification templates that you can see in AD Management tab. So here you can see the list of templates that you have already created for user modification. So here I'm going to create a new template. So click create new template that you can see on the right side of the screen. So you will be creating a new template for modifying your users. So creating a template is a one-time step. So whenever you whenever you modify your users, the next time, say for 10 times or 20 times, you just have to use this template. You don't have to retype everything again and again. You can just use this template. So I was telling you that whenever I change the department value, I should change the group membership values too. So how do I do that? You can see the option called modification rules. So please click on modification rules. So here you can create a new rule for where you can define what you're going to do. So create new rule. So this will give you various options. So first you can decide the condition. Say for example, whenever my department is education and training or say finance, then I should trigger an action. Say for example, I should change the manager attribute. So whenever the department is finance, I should change the manager attribute to a user. So when you click the pencil icon near manager, this will list you all the users present in your domain. Say for example, whenever the department is finance, then the manager should be admin IT India. Then select that user and click OK. So click the add button to make this change to occur in your environment. So you can also decide that whether the description should be changed or not. Say for example, whenever my department is finance, then I should change the description to finance department. So click add. And I was telling you that I will be changing the group membership whenever the department is changed. So you can select the member of option, click on this pencil icon. This will display all the groups present in your domain. So let me just randomly pick up the groups to be updated and click OK. So click add button to make these values in this present in this template. So since I'm using this template for my finance department, I'm going to name this template as finance. So I'm done with creating my template. So before that, let me tell you something else about this template. So for people in finance, if you feel that if they do not want to have access to modify exchange properties or terminal properties, you can simply disable these options from this template. Say you have something called enable drag and drop. So in layout view, you can see a button called enable drag and drop. Just click on that button, go to exchange tab. So you can see something, that icon for deleting this tab. So you can just delete this tab. So in a similar way, if you feel any fields to be disabled from this, to be deleted from this template, you can just choose that option too. So mouse over to the field that you want to remove from this template and just click delete. So now hit the button save template. So now my template is being saved. So you can see this in the list of templates displayed. So now let me go to AD management tab. So as I was telling you, I was using this modify single user option from the beginning. If you want to modify any user, you can just simply click this link. This will display all the users present in your domain. So I'm going to modify the department for the user that I've created. So I'm going to search for my user. So you can see John Williams here. Click on that user. So now I'm going to change the department for this user account. So go to contact tab. So there you can see the department field that you want to change. So I'm going to change this user from education and training to finance. So after I change the department, I may wish to change the manager, description, and the member of attributes for this user account. I don't have to go and set everything once again. You just have to choose the template that you created now. So I created the template called finance and click OK. So now the changes, you can see the changes. So you can see, so when you choose finance department, make sure that you choose the correct condition. So it's just education and training. Okay, something went wrong. So let me just go back to my templates and check what I've set in my templates before editing this. So please make sure what you have given in your user modification templates. So let me go and verify it once again. So I created a template called finance. So let me open it once again. Let me go to modification rules. Okay, if the department is finance, then you have these options to be changed. Okay. Everything is set right now. So let me go to AE management. Let me click modify single user. So I can pick the user that I want to modify from this list. So I'm going to search for my user and it's John Williams. So I'm going to choose the template finance. So you can see, so you can just go to your contact tab and you can choose the department as finance. So now you can see that the manager attribute has been updated to admin IT India, and you can see that the description has been changed to finance department, and you can also verify the group membership for this user account. So you can see that member of has been updated. So now if you want to have a preview of this changes, so you have an option called preview button. So click that preview button so you can have a look at what are all the attributes that you are going to change for this user account. So you can see that you are going to update the manager, department, member of and description for this user account. If you think these changes are correct, then you can just go ahead and click update user button. So now this user account is being modified in the domain, and you can see that these properties are successfully updated. So you can verify it in here. The description has been changed, and in account tab you can see the group member attributes that also been changed, and you can verify whether the manager attribute has been changed or not. So in contact tab, you can see that manager attribute is also changed. So now I'm done with modifying this user account. So I'm nearing the end of the session. So as a quick recap, let's see what we have seen for today's session. So we were looking on user account modification. So we created a sample user and we just changed his home folder option. We changed his SMTP address. We changed his naming attributes, and also we were looking on modification rules. The important concept because that will help you to trigger some actions of modifying the user attributes whenever you perform any change to any certain attributes. So that's all for today. So for our next session, you have it on next week, Tuesday at the same time. The topic for next week is OU role-based AD delegation and help desk business workflow for AD operations. For example, you can have certain tasks delegated to your HR or network administrators, and also you can follow a pattern for you can follow a standardized structure for your organization where you can follow the task to be executed in a request approval and execution pattern. So that's all for today. Thank you for attending our workshop. So after the session, you will receive a survey form through email. I request you to kindly give your valuable suggestions to us. So it will just take about 2 minutes to fill it because your suggestion means a lot to us. It's very important for us. You can have so that we can have your feedback. So thank you so much for attending this workshop and have a nice day.